This is Cisco Packet Tracer. Packet Tracer has been around for something like 15 or 20 years, and this is version 7. So what it does is that it simulates networks, and the idea is that you don't have to go into a physical IT lab and wrestle with the equipment and cables, and it is a way of setting up a network on your own PC. So it's a simulation. Of course, there's a lot to be said for going into the lab and dealing with real equipment, but sometimes that isn't possible, and sometimes you just want to experiment with various settings. It provides you with the opportunity to add all sorts of hardware to a particular network. One other thing that is worth knowing, and it's quite important, is that Cisco would like you to register an email address for you to use this software. That enrolls you onto a free training program and newsletters, etc. If you don't do that, if you are able to get hold of a copy of the software, and I have put a copy of this on Teams, then you are only a guest and you use the guest login. That means you can only save 3 times in a session, and that could be quite inconvenient. So I recommend that you do sign up using an email address, and then every time you use Packet Tracer you can log in with your email address and password, and you can use it to your heart's content. So yes, it is a network simulator, and you can add all sorts of devices to your network. You'll see here I have a server, a printer, a network switch, and a PC here. I have a router over here and a cloud here that represents the internet. There are quite a lot of different things you can add. If you go to end devices there, servers, phones, TVs, tablets, smart devices, and all the rest. Here are the network devices, there are the routers, the switches, and some other devices there. And you connect them together with cables here on this lightning, and the recommended setting is to use the lightning bolt, which basically chooses the right type of connection for you. It looks quite simple at first glance, but it is actually very, very deep, and it really is quite comprehensive. So if I click on this PC, for example, I get a whole lot of information about all the possible things that are connected to this PC, including like the headphone and microphones, not just the networking. So that is a surprise. There's a configuration tab there. And this is a very important one for you because you can set the name of it. You can choose what interfaces, network interfaces you have, and you go to that particular interface to set it up. There'll be more about this later. You also have the opportunity here to use it like a real computer to some extent, and if I click command prompt there, I'm actually in the command prompt of this PC. But it's not a PC, it's all simulated, and you can run this on any half decent desktop computer or laptop or whatever it is that you want to use. It's even worth saying that there is a version of this for mobile phones, although I don't really fancy that because this seems a lot easier. So I'll close that. So each one of the items here on this diagram is extremely detailed and can be configured very, very finely. So that's an interesting thing to know. A couple of other things is down here I'm in the real-time setting, and that means that when I add something to this, if it's a device, it boots up like a real device, which might take a couple of seconds, and you can see here from these green arrows that the connections that I've made are fully operational. If I hover over something, I get some really useful information there about the network connections and what they are connected to. And so this is the real-time mode, and I recommend that you use it. The simulation mode is for sort of more advanced applications and working out what is going to happen. The other main thing that you need to know is that there is the logical view, which is this, and the physical view, which is this. I recommend just using the logical view, but I want you to know that Cisco can have you plan out a whole sort of city of buildings with wide area networks and local area networks should you wish. Probably too complicated for what we want to do on this unit. So those are my introductory comments. Remember, you need to sign up to Cisco for this, and then you can have unlimited number of saves and you don't have to use the guest login. It's a very comprehensive network simulator, and it does mean that you don't always have to go into the lab. Thanks very much.